And first up on the Factor Uncensored tonight, a family member of soldier and Houston native Vanessa Guillen is pushing back against the report claiming former President Donald Trump refused to pay for Guillen's funeral. According to a report in The Atlantic, the former president made the remarks in 2020. He had initially offered to pick up the tab for the funeral. But after he received a bill costing $60,000, he allegedly said, quote, "It doesn't cost $60,000 to bury an effing Mexican," and backed out of paying. Yin was a 20-year-old soldier whose parents were Mexican immigrants. She was killed by another soldier in April 2020. Her sister, Mayra Guillen, responded to the Atlantic report saying she didn't appreciate how the magazine was exploiting her sister's death and saying former President Trump has done nothing but show respect to her family and that she gave him a vote in the presidential election. But many say she had no knowledge to former president's private conversations. Joining us to talk about it, Cesar Espinoza, Executive Director of FIEL, an immigrants' rights organization, Texas State Representative Reynolds, and political analyst Angela Box. So, Angela, do you give any credibility to this report in The Atlantic on former President Donald Trump saying this?
So The Atlantic is owned by Steve Jobs' widow, who is a radical leftist billionaire, and this is the same rag that came out with the suckers and losers comment that has been debunked a million times, and yet Senator Kneepads in her campaign continues to run with it. This woman also violated the Hatch Act today because she had a press conference using the seal of the President of the United States in the White House, in the Rose Garden, accusing Trump of being Hitler because that's what John Kelly said, accusing Trump of praising Hitler because of what John Kelly said. Again, John Kelly, the same guy who said the suckers and losers comment. And for those people who want to say, oh, four-star general, we need to believe what he said. We also, I'm old enough to remember in 2020, the 51 intelligence officers who all said that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation. They all lied. They're all deep state. This is a lie. It's a smear. It's a hateful smear. And her family pushed back on it hard.
All right. Representative Reynolds, let's hear from you on this case.
This is, Isaiah, in line with Trump's previous comments that he's made about Hispanics, Haitians, African Americans, LGBTQ migrants. When Trump opens his mouth, he's denigrating minorities. I believe there were two sources that confirmed this is what Trump said. I believe Trump said it. I believe Trump meant it. He has no respect for the military. As a son of a military veteran, any American citizen should be appalled at former President Trump's statements. I believe that he said these statements, and I believe that we should condemn them. Vanessa Guillen didn't deserve to be treated like this. And her death, and as a Texan and as a state representative who honored her on the House floor, I condemn these racist comments. He's an authoritarian. He's a fascist. He's a wannabe dictator. And to add insult to injury, Isaiah, he did say he wished he had loyal troops like Hitler in his military.
Again, there's
hold on, Angela. Let's bring in Cesar here. And Cesar, really quick, before we get to your comments, what we have seen is a growing tide of older immigrants saying they support Trump no matter what, and they want to make sure the borders are secured and closed. And hearing this, they still support him. Your thoughts on this? First of all, the comment and what many older immigrants are saying here in America.
Well, let's talk about the older immigrants first. I mean, it's going to take more than 5 minutes to explain what's going on there, and somebody smarter than me has to do a study about why that's happening. But I think
it is happening.
I think it goes to the fact that the Latino community is not monolithic. There is whoever says, and I've heard this from Republicans time and time again, that Latinos are gonna vote Democrat for the rest of their lives. Whoever says that does not know and does not want to know our community.
In the 80s, President Ronald Reagan said that Hispanics are conservative. They just don't know it yet.
Absolutely, and so you know, I have my own personal view, but at the end of the day, this is the reality of the Latino community. You have folks from Cuba who are very, you know, who have voted Republican for their entire lives. You have folks who have grown up here, who have changed now parties. It really is a complex community, and people of all parties should realize this. Now, in terms of the comments, we've heard Trump make comments like these before. We've heard Trump make comments about immigrants. I am an immigrant. I don't eat dogs. And he was just saying a couple of weeks ago that immigrants eat dogs and cats and pets and things like that, and these things don't happen. Now, it's
Angela's
important.
face said he was talking about the Haitians, not you guys.
It's important that we go back and dissect Myra's comment.
1 second,
because she
Angela.
did not say Trump did pay for the funeral.
He did.
And I would invite you to invite Myra here and ask her, did Trump pay for the funeral? Because the attorney said that he didn't. Now, actions speak louder than words, always.
All right, Angela, go ahead.
No, hold on. Then let me tell you, Guillen's mom was eligible for parole in place under a military law. And Trump never offered to give her status, even though her daughter gave her body, her life, her soul to the United States and was murdered in cold blood here on American soil.
All right, Angela.
There have been zero corroborating witnesses to say that these.
Everybody that supports Trump wants to say this.
Just like the suckers and losers comment that they continue to dine
And really
out
quick,
on
Angela, there have
philosophers.
been two, but they've remained anonymous.
They were named. Isn't that convenient? The Atlantic is a far left rag. They did this in 2020. These are basically recycled smears that they've done over and over and over. And I want to remind everybody that Trump has already been president. He wasn't Hitler. He didn't persecute his political opponents. Oh, that would be Joe Biden, who today said lock him up. The left is who is Hitler.
All
The
right.
left is who
Last
is not.
32, last 30 seconds.
These are his own former vice president, his own former cabinet, his own former chief of staff are all against him. They're all confirming that he had this kind of attitude and animus towards the military
That's not
and people
true.
in general.
All
Mark
right,
Kelly.
Cesar, last 20 seconds.
Just like his taxes, we want to see it on paper. We want to see receipts. If he's not afraid to show anything, show us a receipt, show us your taxes, show us everything. Be transparent. Otherwise, you're not fit to be president.
All right, we want to thank you guys for joining us. Still.